Hello and welcome to Introduction to Cold Builds in 2.1. Cold is largely ignored, but I would say it's still doable to make a cold build if you have the items for it. Now the problem with the items is that you need frostburns, which is pretty rare gloves. I would say these are as rare as Taskers and Fears or something like that. They're definitely not as common as Mage Feast or something. Anywho, I'll just quickly showcase my items. I have a rimeheart. You could go with an Assure Wrath or even just a good roll at 2.3k DPS weapon. It doesn't need to be rimeheart. I still don't think this weapon is worth it. It doesn't seem to proc a lot because the spells you use, they don't have a good proc chance for the weapon. So I don't feel like the rimeheart is worth it really. I don't know. I also did a stupid thing with mine. You can see the stats are pretty good, but I forgot to use a Ramaldin's gift this one, so that was a bit dumb. But yeah, that happens. Anyways, Rimeheart is also extremely rare. Not many people are gonna find it easily. This is like one of the rarest items in the game, so I was lucky to get one. And then I'm using free items. Yeah, you can use whatever. It doesn't really matter much with the items here, as long as you get some good stats and synergies. You could go with crafted sets. You could even go with full Tolerasha or I don't know, something like that. And then you should of course always use Orgles. Orgles, two items are just great together. Get some good stats on these two at least. I also have a full Blackthorns set with an amulet, but right now I kind of lack some enchantments. My gear is not all optimized because I lack a few upgrades and also enchantments that needs to be redone. But as you can see, my gear is pretty okay. Now I'm using a Unity, but I don't use a Unity bug. I don't have a second Unity. It has never dropped for me yet. So this is kind of like decent items I have, but they're nothing special. You could definitely get something as well like this without breaking a sweat. Now, this build is not gonna be any near good as Firebird or anything like arcane builds or something. Um, I'm using yeah, I'll just actually just show the skills as well. I'm using absolute zero. Uh, this is just for crowd control, little damage. It doesn't. Yeah, I just like to use them using black ice, but you can also go with snow blast or uh, yeah, any of the other runes. I'm trying black ice right now, but I might go slow blast as well. And then I like to use blizzard. Now instead of blizzard, you could also use glacial spike with a mirror ball if you're not gonna use rare frost. Some options there. I also seen people use comet with meteor of a comet and excuse me. I also seen people use if you have the velvet helmet that can do Hydra for you. Frost Hydra is good together with the velvet helmet, the one that casts Frost Nova for you. I have that helmet as well, but I don't feel like it's worth using. Frost Hydra seems kind of weak in damage, and basically Meteor and Blizzard, choose whatever you like. I like to use Blizzard with Snowbound. Not Snowbound, I mean Frozen Solid. And then I'm trying duplicates. I like duplicates a lot lately when I've been playing with Firebirds. Duplicates just nice to get extra crowd control and kind of make you stay alive. Uh, you could also go with Frost Nova and then take Cold Snap or maybe even Bone Chill if you're playing in co-ops. I've also seen people use Teleport a lot, but it all depends on what you like. And then I use Conduit with Magic Wave for more arcane power and Prismatic. Now these two skills, do whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. I like to get some damage and survival, so I use these two skills. You could easily both have uh, both Blizzard and Meteor or anything like that. And Passives are kind of just whatever you like. I like to have cold-blooded and stable and astral presence at least, and then you can change the last one to whatever you like. And that's pretty much for the skills. See, yeah, this build is very simple. There's not much to it. You basically just instant freeze the mobs, as you can see here. I pretty much just freeze them to the death. But you will quickly see now, if I can find an elite pack, that the damage is really weak. I seem to crit like at most 20k or so, which is yeah. Maybe before Firebirds 2.1, that was like an okay damage, but now when you tick for 15 million damage as Firebirds with no special gear, yeah, this is very weak damage. Oh, I forgot to say this is of course on Torment 6. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You could say that this build is viable on Torment 6, but I wouldn't say so. The damage is just too slow. Anyways, right now I'm just doing a bounty, just something in Act 4, nothing special. Anywho, check some damage here. Now you see this is like 15 million life now after the blizzard. So the blizzard alone does about 10 million damage a single cast. And let's check for black hole. Yeah, it's about 5 million at best. And now let's see how long time it takes for. Yeah, as you see, it's okay damage, but only doing 35 million damage in that amount of time is way slower than Blackbird's. Considering you can burst like 100 million damage with just Blazer and the first maybe tick of Blizzard and the Firebird stud. Anyway, as you see now, I've found an elite pack here as well. It's very good crowd control. I can pretty much just freeze them to the death. They're not gonna move if I keep hitting them. Anywho, soon I'm down at the rare pack. Now let's do some pretty big pull just to kind of show survival as well. Okay, this is pretty good pull. Let's go up again and gather them around. Now let's do a few snowbounds just to freeze them a little. Okay, now let's freeze them. As you can see here, I might need to move a little bit. Some of the mobs are not in the sight of my cone from Ray of Frost, but if they get hit by my Ray of Frost, they always get frozen. So you could say that this build is maybe viable in co-op if you needed crowd control, but like, who needs crowd control on Torment 6 nowadays? If you have Firebirds, it's like pointless almost. I would say before the patch 2.1, if we didn't have Firebirds, this build would be okay. But now with Firebirds, it's clearly outshined, and I'm sad about that because we all know that when the expansion launched and every wizard was doing Frozen Orb, I was using that as well. It was a lot of fun. I love using Frozen Orb in Diablo 2. It's probably my favorite build for Diablo 2, but in Diablo 3 we are never gonna get a good cold mage, it seems. Um, Even Arcane is probably more damage and better than cold right now. And again, I would also like to stress these items. If you had similar items for Firebirds as I do now for Cold, you would have much better result as well. These items are not useless. I know my gear is a bit low for Cold, but I do have all the essentials. I mean, I have Frostburns, I have supposedly a good rimeheart that should matter. I just don't see it proc ever. Yeah, I think it actually proc on the Guardian Angel, but I hear people saying it like it procs only maybe every 20 seconds or something like that. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a lot, perhaps. Anywho, that was the bounty done. So yeah, Torment 6 bounty. Done. That's cold. Something to be happy about, I suppose, if it's not a very good spec anyway. Anywho, I hope you like the build, and remember, cold can work, but it's never gonna outshine fire. You can experiment with a lot of builds. I see people go even with cold arcane builds, where they have maybe 15 seconds of downtime, where they are not using arcane, and then they're using other spells like blizzard or maybe even ray of frost, that kind of stuff. So anyways, hope you liked the video, and goodbye.